Like the saying says, all good things comes to those who wait. And boy, have I waited for this. I've been waiting to review this vehicle since May of 2023, and we are in October, almost Halloween. Welcome. This is my review of the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6. This is the sibling car to the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which I reviewed that car as well, and I'll leave the link in the video here somewhere. But this is the sexy, soupy sedan version, same platform, the eGMP or eGIMP for short technology, which means it has a big battery in the middle between both wheels. This particular version is the Limited, so it's dual motors, so one motor in the front, one motor in the rear. Range is about 270 miles. I'm going to talk about it. I've been living with this vehicle for the past week, and thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it. And before I continue, I just want to continue to say thank you very much, Hyundai, for allowing me to have these cars for me to review in my home test area. Stay tuned. That's coming up next. Okay, let's talk Hyundai Ioniq 6. So, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I've been waiting a very long time to get my hands on this car because it's very popular. Everybody, all the media outlets got to review this vehicle, and now is my turn. My turn to review the Hyundai Ioniq 6, and it's a car. It's a beautiful car. I've been living with this vehicle for the past week, and it's a good-looking vehicle. It does have a little bit, I see a little bit of Porsche Panamera-ish in the front with the headlights, and definitely Porsche influence in the rear. So let's talk about the design. So design-wise, this is very fluid and sculpted, very different than its Hyundai Ioniq sibling, which the Ioniq 5 is an SUV, and this is of course a sedan. So this is the competitor to the Tesla Model 3, but unlike the Model 3, this is bigger. This is bigger than the Model 3. It's about the size of a Hyundai Sonata. And let me just pan out a little bit so you guys can kind of capture a little bit of the size. It's a little difficult to pick up on camera, but nonetheless, it is a big car. It doesn't look like it in pictures or in videos, but I'll do my best to show the size-wise. And starting in the front, as you guys can see, there is a big flap over there open. That is for the battery cooling technology for the battery. So that opens and closes to give the battery cooling, and also for air efficiency, to get better range. And you guys see that big black stripe in the front. All the radar sensors are hidden under there, and one of the front-facing cameras there. You got, of course, big, bold Hyundai emblem. And of course, this vehicle, just like its Ioniq sibling, follows the same pixel theme. As you can see, the lights everything is pixelated, which is very cool. Pixel theme everywhere. You see inside the headlight there, a little difficult to pick up because of the sun, but full LED headlights, of course. And walking around this, you got functioning, you got functioning air vents right here to cool the brakes. Nice little marker light here on the side, which is cool because of rear's regulations. This being the Limited version is riding on 20-inch wheels wrapped around Pirelli P0 all-season tires. So this is 245, let's see, 245, I believe 50. Let me just double check that. I want to give you guys the wrong information. And yeah, it is 245s 50 on 20-inch wheels. Very, very nice wheels. There's more of that pixelated theme on the turn signal on the mirror. So if I unlock it, you guys will see the little pixels blinking. The door handles, excuse me, they are flushed in, so they are recessed in for better range. Of course, being an electric vehicle, you want everything to help you with range. And looking at the back, you definitely see a little bit of Porsche 911 in the back with a dual tail spoiler here thing, which is very cool and very different, unique styling. I can't tell you how many times I got stopped and people were freaking out when they saw this car. Like, oh my God, what is that? I can't believe that's a Hyundai. Let me remove these leaves. And these picks over here, they do light up. Some of them light up at night, which looks very cool. And this is the giant third brake light. You got the bold Hyundai emblem there. And very, very cool. And then the trunk is powered. Now that we're back here, let's just open the trunk. The trunk is a very decent size. Not too small. Of course, not a hatchback. It is a sedan, but you can fold the seat down here and you have a new pass-through. Very large trunk. And being an electric vehicle, there is no spare tire, but you do get a tire mobility kit right here to fix your tires. If, God forbid, you're in an emergency, you can patch up your tire real quick. And that's pretty much it. The trunk is power operated in this particular trim because this is the limited version. So you can, of course, open and close the trunk that way. Reverse lights are down there. You can see the white squares. Very cool. And just like its siblings, the Ioniq 5 and the Genesis and all the Hyundai products, this also has Hyundai's Smart Park technology. And what that does is, if you hold this button here, the car will start driving itself back. And you can see it's already turning on the lights. You see the reverse lights on, the big giant tail light. You can see very, very, very cool. And you see that giant third brake light lit up here at night is very cool, very unique and very different. And if I do push it forward, you guys will see that the vehicle will start moving itself forward, which is very interesting and trippy. And people definitely they trip out when they see this car driving by itself. They can't believe their own eyes that the car's driving by itself. All right, let's take a look at the interior, the technology of the Hyundai Ioniq 6. And there we go for a quick drive. But before we do that, let's take a look at the front area. It's not that big in this car. They actually did a survey that most people do not use the front in electric vehicles because naturally it's weird. You know, you're used to a gas car, you're not going to put anything underneath the engine, but this just opens. Oops, sorry about that. This opens like a regular hood in a regular gas car, and it's not that big. Unlike a Tesla or other competitors, the front is not that big. You know, enough to put a cable here or a grocery bag or pack of gum. Something very small, nothing too big. So that's a look at the front area of the Ioniq 5. Ioniq 6. Let's look at the interior, the technology, and there we go for our final drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get inside the Hyundai Ioniq 6 2023. This, of course, has the touch-sensitive buttons. So you can press this little button here, and it locks. Door handles flush in. But if you walk up to a car with a key in it, it will auto unlock. And stepping inside, this vehicle is very different, very unique. Similar to the Ioniq 5 in certain areas, but also very unique in its own way. For example, starting at the door panels. The door panel has this translucent material. It's almost like, you know, at night it's beautiful, and I will do my best to do a night video of this. But the door handle is huge and different. This vehicle does have the Bose sound system. Very cool. Also down here, the pocket of the door, as you can see, it's translucent, which is interesting. You know, you can see kind of what's in there. And let's get inside the seats. Of course, this model has heated and cool front seats. You know, they're beautiful in white. I don't know about white for longevity. You might get it dirty or stained with jeans, stuff like that. There's a quick peek of the floating center console. You can see you have room for stuff under there because, of course, an electric vehicle. And on here, before we go inside, you have controls for your parking brake. You have your dimmer controls here, up and down, to open and close the charge door, which I will show that in a bit. Open the trunk, traction control, power folding mirror in and out, and the mirror controls. All right, let's take a look at the interior. But before we do that, let me show you guys, if you're wondering, how do you charge this thing? Let me show you what that looks like and show you guys the charge door, which I forgot to mention the exterior portion, and there it is. There is the charge door. You can open from the fob, you can open it from right here. There's more of that little pixel theme. You push it, and there it is. This vehicle, being that it's an e-game technology, it has 800-volt architecture, so it can go from 10% to 80% in 18 minutes. I personally charged the Ioniq 5 from 34% to 90 in 15 minutes. So, all right, let's take a look at now. Go inside and take a look at the interior. And stepping inside here, this is a very nice car. This is a very nice place to be. You have 12.3-inch dual screens here. And to turn it on, just push your foot on the brake, press the start button. And let me just turn that off. I don't want to get sued. And you do have, there is the cluster right in front of you, and the infotainment screen right now is telling you the level of charge. So this shows you kind of like a map of where you are and the range of the battery with the climate control on. And if you go to the EV screen, it tells you, gives you a guesstimate of how much you'll get with the range, with the climate control on, with it off. And it knows, of course, where the chargers are, so it tells you more or less where they are. And in terms of efficiency, this car has been very efficient. In the past week that I've been driving this vehicle, it's been getting about 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, which translates to over 100 miles per gallon, 100 miles, 104 mpge equivalent, so 104 miles per gallon equivalent, which is absolutely mental. The controls for the climate control are, you got actual real controls here. They're touch sensitive, but you do have physical buttons for the map, navigation, media, your favorites. You can tune up and down. This activates the 360 camera. So of course you have camera here. You can spin, you can do a little spin here. You can see the exterior all around the car. So all the images of the vehicle stitched together. And then of course you can cycle through different menus. So that's the top-down view, which is very cool. These are the mirror cameras right here. So very different. And of course you can do, you know, all sorts of different modes and things like that, which is very cool. So, and this button here turns on and off the parking sensors. It does have a wireless charging pad right here. This is the USB port to control Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but Hyundai is promising that they are going to push an over-the-air update to allow wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. This, of course, being that it does have a factory navigation, so you could do that, and you can do split screen, so you can, whatever you want on this little second screen, you can, you know, cycle to the calendar, whatever, the compass, the clock, which is kind of cool, a little pixelated clock there, range of the battery, very, very neat, cool little, you know, side thing there, and this, it has all sorts of. So here is the controls for the seat. So you can just do driver, passenger, heated and cool for both of them. One neat feature that the Hyundai Ioniq 6 has, just like its sibling, is when the climate control, if you press this, you can do driver only. So right here, you press this button here. What that means is it enables the climate control just for the driver to get better range and efficiency when it comes to, you know, electric range, which does help, and I did prove that it does make a difference. You have quiet mode, so what that means is it turns off the rear speakers. If you have a kiddo in the back sleeping, it only plays music in the front ones. You could do voice memo, you know, radio, media, Blue Link, the owner's manual, and vehicle settings in here. And I won't go too deep into it. I'll leave the link to the review for the Ioniq 5, which is very similar. Driver assistance screen here, driver mode, custom, sport brake, noise. So this is the noise you want, the EV noise that it has, instrument cluster, the theme, the climate control, the ventilation, seat controls, lights, you know, for what you want the lights to do, the headlight, automatic headlight delay, the ambient lighting, which has plenty of colors. So here you can do, oops, sorry about that, turn on the wipers by mistake. You can do different colors, so it does 2 different themes, which is cool. So one color on the top, so the top portion of the door, one color, and then the bottom is a different color, which is very cool. And again, I will try to do my best to make a video at night to show you guys what that looks like. And moving on to the center here, very different a la old school Mercedes. You do have the window controls are in the middle, so you have lock, unlock, lock buttons. You got the controls for all 4 windows here, auto brake hold, window on and off. And then you do have a little cubby here for cell phone, but then you do have an actual, a decent sized cubby, not too bad. And you got 2 USB-C ports in there. And that's pretty much it. So let's take a look. Glove box is decent as well before we go to the back area. Decent sized glove box, very deep and shallow because of course it is an electric vehicle. And this vehicle does have not an entire glass roof, but it does have a decent sized roof. So here you got the glass roof. Of course you can open it. You do have a shade, so it's motorized, full motorized sunroof, which is very cool. Of course you can just one touch everything, one touch open and close for everything. And you have a motorized shade as well. All right, and before we go to the back, of course this vehicle has automatic headlights. And the steering wheel, as you guys notice, there is no Hyundai badge. It just has these 4 little dots that from doing my research in Morse code translates to the word Hyundai. Unlike the Ioniq 5, in this particular car, these lights are functional. So it tells you your battery level, and these lights will communicate back to you when you activate the voice controls and things of that nature. On the left side of here, you got your drive mode selector. So you have normal, you got eco, and of course you got sport. And if you hold it down, you go into what's called my drive mode. So you can configure the vehicle, the braking, the steering to do certain things and behave in a certain way. And spread it back to normal. And then this little button here cycles through the little drive mode screen here in the middle. And then you got this little wheel to show you your trip information, trip duration, the timer. There's more efficiency screen, so 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. This is the turn-by-turn navigation screen, so if you have a navigation, it will show you your turn-by-turn there. Sadly, this vehicle does not have a head-up display, which is interesting, and an odd omission that Hyundai did not include navigation head-up display in this car, which is interesting because the Ioniq 5 does have a head-up display. Not the end of the world, no big deal. So this is the all-wheel drive system is doing. So it tells you where the power is being sent, front wheels or rear wheels. And then this is the tire pressure gauge. So we put the vehicle in drive. Then if we put the vehicle in drive, and then the tire pressure gauge will change, but I'm not moving that fast, so it's not showing, but it will show you the temperature tire gauge for each tire. And here's also where you can control the cruise control enable on and off. Here's the lane keep assist and the steering assist. And this vehicle does have Hyundai's driving assist technology. What that does is, once you are in major approved highways, the system, once you turn on the cruise control, it will automatically enable highway driving assist, excuse me, tongue-tied. And it will take over the steering, the braking, the accelerating, and things like that, as long as you have your wheels on the steering wheel. Otherwise, it will start yelling at you to tell you to hold the steering wheel. This vehicle does have paddle shifters, but they're not for shifting anything because, of course, it's electric. So on the right side paddle, this turns on to, as you can see, one pedal mode. So what that means is, as soon as you let go of the accelerator pedal down below, the vehicle will start auto braking itself using regenerative braking. And then of course the right pedal, excuse me, I meant the left pedal here. Left turns it all the way onto I pedal, and then here you could go all the way to level 2, 3, or 0. So for your comfort, of course. It's cool, it's trippy and weird at the same, you know, when you use it for the first time, if you're not used to regen braking, it is a very odd and weird feeling when you use it for the first time. And the steering wheel is a little flat bottom steering wheel, and here is the shifter. Of course, you push them for that, twist down for reverse, up for neutral, there for neutral, and of course forward for drive. And then parking, you just press the park button right here, and that's it. All right, let's take a look at the back seat, and then we go for our final drive. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's step inside the back seat of the Hyundai Ioniq 6. And something off the bat you guys notice, you do get a window controls back here, which is interesting. Still a little floating door panel thing. You do have a little cubby here for cell phone or whatever you want to put, and another little hole down here as well. You do have Hyundai Ioniq 6 door sills, which is nice, and I think they believe they're optional in lower trims. Beautiful, of course, leather seats back here. And getting inside, this is where electric vehicles shine. I am 5'8", and the seat is adjusted to how I drive, and you have plenty of leg room, enough for me to literally cross my legs, which is nuts. You do have pockets behind, little nets behind both doors. You do have air climate vents back here, 2 USB-Cs, a little cubby in the middle, and you do have 2 cup holders here. You do have 2 cup holders here in the middle, nicely padded armrests, and it's not a bad place to be. Lighting, of course, is LED everywhere, so you got LED lighting all over the cabin. And there's a look at the command center, of course. And I forgot to mention, you see those 2 little winglets at each end? That is because the Korean version of this car in other markets will have 2 monitors on that side instead of mirrors. So instead of physical mirrors on the outside, it's actually 2 cameras mounted on the outside, which is very cool. And then you have the image projected onto those 2 little winglets, will be 2 little LCD screens showing you what's going on the outside. All right, let's take one quick look at the outside again before we go for a drive. And one thing that I forgot to mention and showed is the actual shark fin antenna is translucent. It's a little hard to pick up on camera, but you guys can kind of see all the guts of it, which is kind of cool, a nice little touch. I don't know why they did it, but nonetheless, it's cool. And there's another look at, let's take another exterior walk around before we go for our drive of the Hyundai Ioniq 6 in limited trim. This color, I forgot to mention, is Hyundai calls it transmission blue, even though it's more gray. It's more gray than blue, in my opinion. But anyway, let's go take this for a quick drive, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6. And let me turn on my seat here because I'm a little warm. I got a little steamy. And that's it. Climate control a little lower. All right, so I have the car now in normal mode. I have about 67% battery left as of my filming. I will do, I'll do little modes. Let me just put this on the floor so it doesn't start rolling around. And this vehicle is very efficient. I drove this car about 264 miles, which is about 3 days of driving for me from my home and my job in one charge. So, and I had 20% left after I was done, which is very, very efficient. This vehicle is, of course, being electric. The power comes right now, and the misconception of electric vehicles is people who don't know about how they work and where to charge it. Just like a gas car, you don't have, you know, if you let's say you live in an area where you don't have a charger, let's say you don't live in a home and you live in an apartment, you can still own an electric vehicle, and you just have to go out there and find the chargers, you know, just like you would a gas station. And this vehicle handles very, very well, you know, for the, you know, being that this thing has 20-inch, very wide tires too, 245s all around, sitting on 20-inch wheels. The car is very efficient. Right now I'm in normal mode, and I am going to enable the pedal driving to I-pedal, and right away it starts braking very aggressively, but it's not using real brakes, it's using the electric motors to spin it back. But let's go on the highway real quick, and I can show you guys what this thing can do. 0 to 60 is about 4.5 seconds, which is very quick. Very quick. One thing that Hyundais and Kias do, I don't know, maybe not pick up on camera, is when you enable the turn signals left or right, it turns on the little blind spot warning camera. And stepping in here, let me put it in sport mode for a second, and stepping on it, I mean, the power is just right now. There's no waiting, rightfully so, because it is an electric vehicle. So power is available right now. So when you drive a car like this, or any EV for that matter, you don't have to be afraid of, oh my God, can I make that, you know, can I merge in there? No, you just go. You just point, shoot, and that's it. And it's awesome. And let me see if I can do a little demo of the cruise control here. Let me lower the speed down. If I lower the speed down and enable the lane keep assist, if I change lanes, as you guys can see, it's steering and taking over everything for me. And it will do it for a little bit until it starts yelling at you. And it does a very, very good job of staying in the lanes and everything. This vehicle does have also the auto lane change. Depending if you're on major highways, it will auto lane change for you when you turn the turn signal, which is very cool. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to test it because I wasn't nowhere near a major highway. But nonetheless, it's a very good car. It's definitely the sexy one from the two. I do prefer, of course, this is my personal opinion, I do prefer the Ioniq 5 because I love the retro vibe that it has in the front, with the, you know, square-ish headlights in the front, which is very, very, very cool. And in terms of practicality, of course, being an SUV, the Ioniq 5 will go a little further. And you know, for family duties, you know, that one will fit the bill a little better than the Ioniq 6 does. The Ioniq 6, of course, if you're a single person or you don't have any kids yet, this will do the job just fine. But full disclosure, I did have my daughter's car seat back there, and it fit just fine. So no issues whatsoever in terms of fitting a car seat, normal facing car seat back there. The car is big. Remember, just keep in mind, this is the size of a Hyundai Sonata, more or less. You know, so it is bigger than a Model 3 in that regards, but it's competitive, of course. As tested, this vehicle is $57,000 because this is the top version of the Hyundai Ioniq 6. And starting fourth quarter of this year, Hyundai will provide folks the adapter to be able to charge in the NACS, aka the Tesla standard. So Hyundai just announced Hyundai, Kia, Genesis vehicles will be able to charge at 12,000 superchargers across the country, Tesla superchargers. So, and in 2025, any new Hyundai EV will come with the Tesla connector, so you can charge your vehicle in any Tesla supercharger, about 12,000 of them, which is a big win for all of us. One charging standard, and in this way everybody can charge anywhere and you don't have to have a problem, being that Tesla superchargers are of course available across the country. But anyway, this has been my full in-depth review of the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6. Thank you all very much for watching, for liking, for sharing my videos. I know a lot of you are watching without subscribing. Please subscribe so I can continue to get vehicles like this and more and continue my growth trajectory. Thank you all again, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care and stay safe.